What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Um, Wanted to backdoor y'all with another one today because an interesting topic popped into my head. Or better yet, I would say, I guess it is a topic, but more so an interesting question popped into my head. And as I wait for a few of y'all to come in, or a few more people to come in, I'll hold what I want to say until we get that going. But I think it's a question that we need to address. Y'all hit the like button as y'all come in. Y'all hit the like button as y'all come in. I see Renee has already put up a great point and I was going to get into that as well. But I want to get a few more people in, We got a handful in now, but I want to get a few more people so I won't have to backtrack and repeat anything that I've already said. So everybody that's in here now, y'all just hit the like button for your big brother. And then y'all, this will give you a little time to contemplate over whatever answers you might have to this question. So click that thumbs up for your big brother as you walk into the door. And, we'll get right into it. Okay. I was looking at where Ice Cube had done a recent interview with Tucker Carlson, the news guy. And once again, very critical of Ice Cube for speaking to Tucker Carlson, who we know is my opinion, just not a good guy, not a good media guy, not a righteous media guy. That's the best word I could think of, the best way to describe it. He has his own agendas and interests and how he runs his media, like a lot of people at Fox, like a lot of people at CNN, and none of those agendas are favorable towards Black people or poor people or oppressed people on the whole. They are typically um, politically driven agendas, and they normally speak the language and talking points that work in favor of any argument that favors whatever political affiliation that they support, right? So the question becomes all of a sudden, well, why is Ice Cube talking to him? Why is Ice Cube this? Why is Ice Cube doing that? And it made me think about different scenarios where um, people have had to discuss certain situations or felt the need to discuss certain situations uh, of importance to our open enemy. So the question came, should we meet, you and I, should we meet with our enemies, talk to our enemies, interview with our enemies in an attempt to accomplish things that we're trying to accomplish as a collective? I saw a few people get upset, and it reminded me of when Donald Trump was the president. And when Donald Trump was the president, there were several occasions where Black people would go to the White House and meet with Trump on his invite. And anybody, any Black celebrities who would go meet, and not just celebrities, preachers, politicians, if you were Black and you went and sat down at the White House with Donald Trump, you became a pariah in the black community. You were like the worst of the worst. You were like the biggest sellout known to man. And there was even a sister who performed, I think she performed at his inauguration, or she performed at some event that he had, that Donald Trump had, and I'm sure she got paid for it, but she got raked over the coals for it. And that was like the most painful payday she probably ever got in her life. Now, the debates kicked in because people were like, well, man, y'all going to meet with this racist, man. Y'all going to meet with this dude, man. He don't care nothing about black people and all that is probably true. Now, there are two sides to the meeting, to the mindsets that why black folks will go meet with Donald Trump. And I'm using Trump, I'm going back to come forward. There are some of us who just felt like, well, man, let me just sit in front of the man and express our concerns, express our needs, our situation to this man to hopefully give him a better understanding of what we need as a people and how he, being in the seat of the president of the United States, can help us, right? That was the mindset of a lot of people. We're going to let him know exactly what our agenda is and what we expect of him, especially those who may have voted for him, right? And believed in him for whatever reason. That's your choice. But then there are others who, they are just flat out sellouts. They just flat out, I just want to be seen in the White House, boss. I just want to sit next to him. I want to be in the picture. Ooh, look at me. I'm right here next to him. Ooh, I'm a personality worshiper. I just like people who talk ignorant and act like they're intelligent while they're doing it. He's a celebrity. He was a celebrity long before he was the president. There are some like that. There are some who come to see what they can get out of it, to get near to him, to try to establish a friendship that will benefit them, a relationship that will benefit them, and say, okay, wait, if I get cool with him, if I can get in, if I can slide in and be a part of the team, it can benefit me as an individual. I don't care nothing about black folks. Don't bother me none. Trying to see what's in it for me. Those are not the people I'm talking about right now. I just had to address those types of people because I don't want to lump everybody in with the same, because people do things for different reasons. People do the same things for different reasons. If you go to church on Sunday, I don't care if it's 40 people at your church or if it's 5,000 at your church. There are people in there that are at that church for different reasons. Somebody's in there so they can get some spiritual enlightenment. They're really seeking the truth. They want to hear what they want to make their life better. Somebody in there looking for a husband or a wife. They ain't worried about their sermon. Man, look at that sister over there. Somebody in there because they trying to move up in the ranks in the church and hopefully get some of that money. I'm going to Lakewood. I'm trying to get a job at Lakewood. I ain't trying to join Lakewood. I want a job. Them collection plates, it ain't even a plate at Lakewood. It's a collection account. So everybody does things for different reasons. Now, going back to Ice Cube, he laid out what was called, what is the plan for Black America? It escapes my mind what the exact title of his layout was, what his plan was, right? But whatever it was demands that were going to be placed on whichever candidate won the seat of the president of the United States out of Joe Biden, Janky Joe, or Dumb Donald. Whichever one got in, whichever one would have won, it was set up like, hey, man, whichever one y'all, we're going to present this to both of y'all pre-decision. And I want to sit down, this Ice Cube talking, and discuss it. Let's go over this. Even then, a lot of black folks came out against him and was on his head about why he's trying to meet with these people and la 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 la. They don't care about us and all that. And I'm one of the people who agree that they don't care about us. Of course they don't. The history shows that on both sides, whether you were Democrat, Republican, Trump, Biden, freaking Clinton, the one that y'all love the most. And you're talking about Bush. But people were mad at him. And he faced all that criticism. He went on some of the shows with black people where they challenged him on it. But what people don't seem to understand is that the principle that Frederick Douglass laid out many, many years ago, he made a statement that says, thank you, LW, contract with Black America. I'm talking about plan for Black, what am I talking about? The contract with Black America. What people don't understand is that Frederick Douglass said a long time ago, he said, power concedes nothing without a demand. He didn't say power concedes nothing without a suggestion. He didn't say power concedes nothing without a hope. He didn't say power concedes nothing without a question. He says a demand. So that means that if you are under the umbrella of an oppressive system, in an oppressive situation, in an oppressive condition, like black people have been under since we arrived in this country centuries ago, and there have been no signs of self-initiation from the oppressor to, you know what, man, we have been tripping for the last 400 and something years. Let's go on, let's fix this. There's been no signs of that. Then at some point, a demand has to be made to say, well, hold on, man. We are actually contributing something to the progress and to the prosperity of this nation that we live in. We've contributed a lot. And a lot of what we've contributed to has been involuntary. We were made and forced to do it. This is the history. Get mad all you want. Show me where I'm lying and I'll shut up. So at some point when a people gets fed up, it's like you working on your job. You've been at your job 15 years, they ain't never gave you a raise. You've been at your job 15 years, the working conditions in your area have not improved. You still working on the same equipment that you was working on when you first started there. At some point, I hope it wouldn't take 15 years, but at some point, you're going to go into the supervisor's office, the boss's office, whoever, and you're going to say, hey, man, this ain't cool. This ain't right. I can't work under these conditions. This is not fair. I need a raise. I need this. I need a better set of equipment. I can't work like. You're going to go in there and make demands. If you go in there, I just wanted to talk to y'all and see if y'all busy, I can come back later. You know, I mean, then you're going to get treated like the wimp that you are. So a demand comes into play. We tired of asking you to do things and anticipating and hoping that morality kicks in, or some type of respect for fellow members of humanity. That ain't happened yet. So it's not gonna happen unless there's a demand. So Cube laid out what he laid out. And how would you accomplish that if you don't meet with the very people who are in charge or in control to some degree of bringing it to fruition? That's not begging. That's not, y'all begging to the white man. No, that's letting him know, bro, we put in work. It's time for you to give us back what we deserve. So how else will you relay that message to the person who has the resources if you don't at some point meet with that person, meet with those people, that entity, whatever it is, you meet with them, you sit down with them. So the setup was, okay, whichever one of y'all win, I need to talk to y'all. And I made a video about this when it was first popping off. So now it's coming back around because he's making rounds on other fronts, on other discussions that he's having, and he's going through these media outlets, which are indeed the enemy as well, because media has always been an instrument used to degrade the image of Black people, to assassinate the characters of Black leaders and activists and athletes, entertainers, rappers, however you laid up, and not just Black people. If the media don't like you, you about to get it. You're gonna know it, and they will defame you. They will assassinate your character to now the public opinion of the people can be swayed by what they see, how you are portrayed by media. So now people are mad because he talked to Tucker Carlson. Why are you talking to Tucker Carlson? Why are you going to them? Why are you going? But he been on a lot of Black platforms. He's making his rounds, just like he did the last time. He didn't just say, I'm gonna go talk to Fox or CNN. He didn't do that. But a wise man understands that if I want my message to get out, and I have the ability to get my message out on those bigger platforms, then it's only wise to do that. Because the more eyes and ears that are placed on your message, the more attention that's drawn to it, the better chance you got. But we don't think like that. We want to call a man a sellout. We want to call a man a secret agenda. He got his own. So you want to call him selfish. You want to call him foolish, ignorant. But these are some of the same people who will agree or believe in what the prophets did, what was done in the scriptures, right? And in the scriptures, Moses met with Pharaoh. Pharaoh was not an ally to the children of Israel. He wasn't an ally. He wasn't a friend of the children of Israel. He was an oppressor to the children of Israel. That's the very reason why God sent Moses to Pharaoh in the first place. That's the story. Like, what did he tell Pharaoh? What did he tell Moses to go tell Pharaoh? What did he tell him to go tell Pharaoh? I'm gonna see if somebody know it. Y'all don't know this, then y'all just some heathens. What did he say? Well, y'all taking too long. God told Moses to go up in there and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Moses went in there and talked to Pharaoh. What if people, well, maybe it was, but what if people were like, wait a minute, why are you going to talk to him, man? Many prophets met with the kings and rulers of their time. Why y'all talk? Why you going to talk to him, man? He don't care nothing about us. He don't love us. Yeah, you're right. But see this the way that the Creator worked. He even gives his enemies a chance to fix what they messed up. He even gives them a chance. Like, yeah, okay, I know you did it. Yeah, you did that. Yeah, you tripped out. But if you such and such and such and such and such and such, I'll let y'all make it. I don't like the way you treated my people, but if you blah, 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 whatever, whatever, I'll lift these plagues off of y'all. If you don't take heed to what my servant that I sent you is telling you, because he's telling you what I'm telling him to tell you, then you're going to see the consequence. And that's what ended up happening to Pharaoh. So his army was drowned in the Red Sea, and we all, well, I'm going to say we all know the story because I guess we don't. But the point is, that meeting had to take place just to throw the alley-oop, just to throw the pass up there. If I'm the point guard, I can just throw the lob. I can't make you catch it and dunk it. If you decide not to catch it and let it go out of bounds, then hey, turnover. So you still got to give them a chance to do right. You got to give them a chance. It's the same thing when you go back to, and again, a lot of these people, they love Martin Luther King. Some of the same people who are criticizing Q for speaking to the powers or meeting or having conversations, and these are some of the same people who love Martin Luther King. And Martin Luther King was always meeting with presidents and governors and whoever, lawmaker, whoever he could meet with to try to help attain equality and civil rights for Black people at a time where it was openly racist. Now, looking back, a lot of people, oh, Martin Luther King, he did so much for us. But these are some of the same Negroes that probably would have been criticizing him today. And while we didn't, well, while we and I don't really agree with everything that Martin Luther King was on at that time, in the methods, a lot of the methods I did not agree with when I studied that history. But there was a lot that he did that was absolutely beneficial and proved to be absolutely necessary for us in this modern day. You walking around here doing a lot of stuff you're doing now because of some of the fights and the sacrifices that Martin Luther King made for Black people during that time, along with others. But I'm using him as an example because we know clearly that Martin Luther King, I don't like to use the term worked both sides like it was a hustle, but he believed that he could come to racist white folks and talk to them in a way that would sway them to do right. He believed that, and in the case of a lot of those cats, that just wasn't gonna happen. They just not built like that, right? So these are the same people who, I would assume, they love Martin Luther King. They're criticizing Ice Cube right now. And how do I know that they're criticizing this man for meeting with the enemy? How do I know that they're criticizing him for that? How do I know that there's scattered pockets of criticism levied towards Ice Cube? You know how I know? Because I saw it on YouTube. I saw it on Facebook. Where am I going with this? Where I'm going with it is that you are criticizing Cube for talking to the media, talking to the enemy on these platforms, and you're using one of the enemy's platforms to do it. Zuckerberg don't love you. Zuckerberg is not your friend. Elon Musk is not your friend. Who owns YouTube? They're not your friend. So we own the enemy's platforms, criticizing Ice Cube for being on the enemy's platform. Think about how insane that is. Because these cats got the right to shut all of us down at any moment whenever they get ready to. So it's ignorant and it's hypocritical to get on your show, to go on your podcast and talk about how wrong he is and how off he is, and if you might call him a sellout, whatever you saying. Where are you saying it at? Ridiculous thought process, man. Power concedes nothing without a demand. So somebody put early on when I first started this live, they were answering the question. They were talking about how in law enforcement, in the judicial system, that's a requirement just to survive, that you got to meet with people that you don't like and that they necessarily don't like you. The defense attorney and the prosecutor, they have to talk all the time. The client has to be made aware of what's going on between the defense and the prosecution, because deals are being offered, things are being laid out, and the client has to be in the loop to like, hey man, okay, so what they saying? Hey man, they offered you 25. 25. Man, go back and say 5. Go back and you're negotiating with somebody who wants to lock you up. That's just a requirement. It's a necessity. Now, it's a different type of scenario that I'm laying out, but the reality is, for the sake of making it as good as possible for you and yours, there are times where you got to sit down with the enemy. Nations have been doing it since there's been nations. When there is a threat of war or tension between two nations, if neither nation really wants to clash like that, because there are instances where there's one nation, America, that always seems to want to make an excuse or a reason to invade another country. But if there are situations where two nations truly don't want that smoke with each other, they don't want that smoke. They like, hey man, we standing on what we standing on, y'all standing on what y'all standing on. And if it stay like that, it's gonna be a problem. Let's sit down and try to figure out a way to avoid war. Or avoid, it may not even be war. It may be avoiding broken ties between two nations, and these two nations have resources that they trade or work with each other that are valuable to each nation. It may be something like that that can be severed. You got to sit down. They sat down and tried to figure it out. So you see on TV, you see this president sitting with that president. You see this prime minister sitting with that king or that president. And on TV, they're sitting together, they smiling, they show them shaking hands, they taking a picture shaking hands, and they're talking and they're cordial and respectful, but they don't like each other. They don't like each other. Don't be fooled. But they trying to figure out a way to reach a solution that's best for all parties involved. So when you hear black people, those of you who may not be familiar with that history, you know, black folks know, but you ain't black, you might not know, or you might, I don't know. But the conversation of reparations comes up a lot in the black community. And all reparations is demanding that the United States government repair, that's where the word reparations come, reparations, repair a lot of the damage that was done to us through slavery and through Jim Crow and through the oppressive conditions that we've been living under for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And them little bones that they've been throwing is just like, that ain't enough. We built this country. We deserve some of it. So in order to receive reparations, if a phone call was made today from the United States government and they say, hey man, look, if Janky Joe Biden says, hey man, you know what, I want to sit down and talk about this reparations thing. Let me hear what y'all talking about, right? And then we say, okay, Janky Joe, okay. Guess what's gonna happen? The hardest, down to the bone, blackest of the black activists that are in existence today, they will go meet with the president of the United States, Joe Biden, and try to come up with a package, a reparations package that will be satisfactory and suitable to black people. We will walk in the door and sit down and say, let's get it on. Knowing that he don't love us. Knowing that this is a man who was instrumental in the world famous crime bill. No air quotes, give me the air quotes back, because it was, they got a lot of black folks locked up and some of them might still be in prison behind it. Still don't like black people. But we would have to sit down with him to try to negotiate something that would be not just beneficial to us, but it would also be beneficial to the United States of America and whatever longevity that this nation would hope to have moving forward, because America is under divine judgment. What's divine? What is that? What does that mean? What does divine judgment mean? America is under divine judgment from God himself, meaning America is being punished right now. Every system of America is breaking down, from the infrastructure of America, from the economic system of America, from the moral fiber of America. It's breaking down, collapsing, just going to hell in a handbag. God hitting the country with calamities left and right, weather, just so it would be beneficial to America to make a strong move, a strong play to right some of the wrongs that they've carried out against black folks. That would give them a mercy from God. Just telling you what it is. So giving us reparations wouldn't just be beneficial to us. It will buy them some time. So don't get mad if Cube is on the platforms trying to get a message out, trying to relay, hey man, this is what we want, this is what I'm trying to do, blah, 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 blah. Contract with Black America, whatever it is. Why are you talking to them? Who else you gonna talk to? Who controls the resources? Who runs the whole operation? Same reason why you go talk to your supervisor when the working conditions ain't right. Who else you gonna talk to? You gonna come home and complain to your wife about it? Slap upside the head? You gonna talk to your homeboy and he gonna say, well, man, hey, if it's me, I'm gonna say, did you talk to your supervisor? Tell your supervisor you're leaving early today. Come on, man. Power concedes nothing without a demand. You got to go to the power to get some of the action. A lot of people will say, well, man, we got to keep it in-house, man. We got to keep it in-house. And there's a lot of things that we do have to keep in-house. There's a lot of things that we got to work among ourselves. But when we need them resources, you can't keep that in-house because the resources ain't in-house. There's a complaint that's coming from inside of the house. So if there's a complaint that's coming inside of the house based on the conditions in the house, we got to go outside the house. You live in an apartment complex and the faucet is leaking. The sink is stopped up. You got to go to the landlord to get them to fix it. That's the reality. And if they don't want to take accountability for the problems that they've caused, divine judgment, that's on them. How they caused the problems. We didn't bring ourselves over here. We didn't put ourselves in chains. We didn't put ourselves out in the fields picking cotton, and we didn't hang ourselves from trees. We didn't whip ourselves in the back. We didn't do none of that. So we don't know how to separate business from personal. Hey, this ain't personal. This business. So you've done, anybody that's in business, I ain't talking about some little roaching Negroes that you just round the hood, just roaching. I'm talking about people who have actually done business, who have actually tried to make money moves or try to establish businesses or whatever it is you're trying to do. At some point, you have to meet with people that don't really rub you the right way. You ain't really feeling this person, but you still tolerate those meetings. You still tolerate whatever aura that they're giving off to you because you got a bigger goal in mind. You got a bigger picture in mind, and you were seeing something in the future that benefits you and your family to where you can't just get caught up in your personal emotions. Like, I don't like that dude, man. Okay, yeah, I don't like the dude, but he ready to cut that check. And I ain't talking about no sellout check. Let's get that clear off the muscle. I'm talking about that check that came as a result of me walking in that room, breaking down what I want, not bucking and foot shuffling and cooning and none of that. And then I get that check. I can walk out with that check in my hand with my head like this, not walk out like I had I had to I had to buck dance a little bit to get this, but we got it. Nah, we ain't doing that. Hey man, Greek is in the house, man. Greek is in the building, man. The landlord and the keeper. And it ain't of our love either. Y'all don't know nothing about that. But it ain't personal. It's business. A lot of moves are made in business that the person didn't really want to do it. Let's think about when Abraham Lincoln abolished slavery, right? With the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation, 1863. How many people in 2023 still truly believe that Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation and abolished slavery because he was just this wholesome, righteous president that felt bad for the plight and the condition that black slaves were in, and he just had this change of heart, and he just, how many people still believe that in 2023? It wasn't personal, it was business. The freeing of slaves by Abraham Lincoln was a business move. It was a political move. All you have to do is read Abraham Lincoln's actual thoughts on the black-white dynamic in America during that time, and you'll go, oh, okay, yeah, he didn't like black people. He outwardly said, like, hey, man, if it was up to me, go read. All you gotta do is just Google. Y'all like to Google everything else. Y'all to go Google somebody fighting. Y'all to go Google some twerking videos or something. Y'all to go pull up some twerking videos, I mean. Just go Google Abraham Lincoln's feelings, true thoughts about black people, or quotes about black people. It was business. So it worked out for black folks to get free, those who had that mind to say, hey man, cool, let's go. We ain't gotta be here no more. Let's go. But as it is today, same way it is today as it was then, that was still some that was scared and didn't want to leave the plantation. What we gonna do? How we gonna eat? Just like it is today. If we talk about separating and, hey man, give us some of this land for our own, and it's gonna be Negroes, what we gonna do? Who gonna make the toilet paper? See? What we gonna do? That's how we are today. So meeting with your enemy sometimes is a necessity. It's a necessary thing. You just got to know how to do it. And you got to know how not to do it. You can't come in punkish. You can't come in ready to. That, you know what that's like? That would be like if you was trying to get a settlement, right? You was getting ready to go negotiate a settlement. And in your mind, y'all have already talked about it. It's 5 of us. We're like, okay, look, man, we walk in there, man. We ain't taking no less than $500,000, man. We want $500,000, man. And everybody agree, yeah, $500,000 on 3. 1, 2, 3, $500,000. Then we walk right into the office, right? And we slam the paper on the table. They got 500, comma 000. And we slide it over to them. We like this. He's like, yeah, we want. Dude, pick the paper up. I'll give y'all 20,000. And one of the same cats that was outside, yeah, we gonna. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, okay, 20 is good. 20, okay, that's fine. Y'all think 20? We'll all have $4,000 a piece, man. And we looking at it like, dude, it's always that one. No, man. Hey, man, it's better than nothing, man. I knew 500,000. I knew that was too much at first. It's always one of us that do that. Got to weed them kind of cats out. Sometimes it's better to walk out with nothing than to sell out and give up your whole body of integrity. Come on, man. None of these platforms are owned by us to be criticizing Ice Cube or anybody else for speaking on those platforms. The only criticism that he or anybody else would be justified in receiving would be if they selling out. That's it. They getting up there throwing us under the bus. They getting up there talking down on us like a lot of them who are paid and hired to do so. That's the only way. Let me see what y'all talking about, man. See, because what y'all, some of y'all, see, this how crazy some of y'all are. A lot of our black brothers and sisters are. This is how crazy a lot of us are. We'll be the same ones talking about Ice Cube is selling out because he wanted to talk to Trump or Joe Biden and lay out demands that we want. Y'all don't know Ice Cube is a lot smarter and wiser than y'all think. I told y'all before, man, Ice Cube follows the minister, man. You ain't no dummy when you follow Minister Farrakhan. Trust me. Y'all just don't get it. So you criticize this man for talking with the enemy or wanting to meet or talk with the enemy. And some of y'all are sleeping with the enemy. We shoulder to shoulder with an unknown enemy. Some of us live with our enemy and don't even know it. Some of us hang out with our enemies and don't even know it. They say, keep your enemies close. Some of y'all married to your enemy. In a relationship with your enemy. You don't know it because you're not their enemy, but they're yours secretly. Jared says, I'm my enemy. Some of us our own worst enemy. I said some, Bubba. I didn't say everybody. If you married to the greatest person in the world, man, hey, I can't do nothing but salute you. I said some. I'm wise enough to say some. I might be dumb, but I ain't stupid. I'm going back in time, man. Shout out to the Real Hungry Joe. I appreciate the donation. Appreciate you as always, man. I'm going backwards. Renee Gruel, is that Renee Gruel-X? Said 99% of men watching porn, 1% of men watching K-Rino live podcast. That's a heck of a ratio. LW says people like easy targets like Tucker, Joe Rogan, and Donald Trump. Easier to hate with the face instead of corporations and outlets. Yeah, that's true, because they are the faces, but also they are in the positions where people are going to gravitate towards that. So it's not always about them being an easy target. It's more so about them being the faces and being the platforms of availability in a moment. When Trump was president, he's the president. Who bigger? He's the one who's supposedly in charge of fixing the problems that exist inside the nation. So absolutely, it's not he's a target. It's like, that's the guy you go to. He's freaking you human resources. You HR, bro. So we coming to you. Tucker Carlson is the host of a popular show on one of the biggest news media outlets in the world. So of course. So if you want the message out, then you go to the highest mountaintops. See? So it's not about that, about somebody them being, because, but you're right about the corporations and the hidden hands, the elitists and all. Yeah, of course, they're there too, but they're hidden hands for a reason. You can't get to them. They control the presidents. They control the media. So when you want to get to the layman, the average person, the audience, you got to go through those platforms if you're able to go through it. Now, once you get there, you got to be wise enough to know how to relay your message. And you got to be bold enough to not get up there and punk out and sell out. And you talk one way behind closed doors. That'll be like me talking to y'all. You know, we got about 65 people in here on a planet that holds 8 billion, that has 8 billion, in a nation, the United States of America, that has close to 400 million people. And I'm talking to 65 of y'all right now, and I'm just going in. I'm going hard. And then somebody called me and said, hey, you want to come on Fox and have this same conversation? And I said, yeah. Then y'all see me on Fox, and y'all like, ooh, K finna go in. He talked about this on his live last week. He getting ready to go in. And I get up there and I'm like, but I ain't mean it like that. I was just saying that, you know, I don't, y'all will be like, what? Dirty South MVP says, if I was in Ice Cube's position, I would do that too, if it makes everyone think about what is really important. Yeah, I mean, I'm just tired of these cats who don't even have. See, some of these brothers and sisters are bought and paid for, man. Trust, make no mistake about it. They in the enemy's pocket, and they are sent out to oppose any moves that are made by any of the real ones that are standing up, speaking against and exposing the opposition. El Malik Shabazz says Moses met Pharaoh from a position of strength, not weakness. Q's position is not strong because he's not standing on an independent foundation. What independent foundation would you say that he should be standing on? I'm just asking a question because I believe that the contract with Black America is drawn up from a position of strength. Moses absolutely negotiated or spoke from a position of strength because he was speaking straight the words of God himself. See? So he came with great authority. But we got to also understand that sometimes God can work through you in multiple ways that may not be definitively understood by the people to be of God. Hell, when Moses spoke to Pharaoh, Pharaoh didn't believe it was from God. That's what makes a man, a woman of God really controversial, because in the time that they live in, nobody believes they are who they say they are. Or nobody believes that they are speaking on behalf of who they claim they're speaking on behalf of. So what's the independent foundation? You say he's not standing on an independent foundation. Maybe I don't understand what you mean by that. The bottom line is, I'll give y'all an example that might surprise y'all. Like a lot of people that know me, right? That, and I mean know me in terms of y'all been following my career for a long time, and y'all know that I've never been signed to a major label. Partly because I speak a message, I stand on a platform that I would never compromise off of, in terms of what I believe in the things I speak to and things that I speak about and expose in my music, the people, the entities that I expose in my music, including major record labels, right? So my message is got a small little backing behind it. Some people know me, more people don't, right? But if a record label came to me tomorrow and said, hey, look, man, we know all about you. We want to sign you. We like you, whatever. And you can do whatever you want to do. You can say whatever you want to say. There will be no restrictions on your creative control or your content. There'll be no restrictions of that. Even if you talking about the record label, even if you talk about the government, even if you're talking about this or that, hey man, do it. We'll put it out. You think I wouldn't take that? Because now I know my message. I don't say my message. The message that I've learned and I've been taught, that I stand on and believe in, it's going to reach millions now. Oh, yeah. And even if it happened just one time, that's all I need. That's all I need. I just need one time. Then they can run me right back down into the underground. But I wouldn't pass that opportunity up, because I'm looking at the big picture like, okay, it's a lot of people that have not heard what I've said in the way that I say it, or at all. You can talk about Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad all you want. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do that anyway. But mess around and give me a big look with it. I'm gonna be on your head like Dandruff. See? And you got to always give people a chance, man. Some people, you can use an analogy like with your children, right? Sometimes you know that your child has done something wrong. You know your child broke that lamp. Especially in 2023 where y'all got the little things in the house and you could be out of town and see what's going on in the house. You saw your son run through that house and knock that lamp over and break it. You came right home and said, hey, what happened to this lamp? I don't know. I'm gonna ask you again. What happened to this lamp? Now, if you tell me what happened to the lamp, I'll let you make it. If you lie to me, it's gonna be a problem. You giving them an opportunity to escape the wrath. Then your son says, I don't know. And you show them the footage. Is that not you run? They do that in interrogation. They do that. That's what the police do. Oh, so you didn't kill him? No, man, I didn't do it. Okay, look at this footage. Is that not you coming out the house with that knife with the blood on it? Then they break down. Things just got out of hand, man. Come on, man. You might have got 30 years. Now you're going to get 100. So let's not be so fast to try to condemn and judge each other when we have the right motive in mind to try to work towards a solution. It's going to always be sellouts. It's going to always be people who have their own personal agenda in mind, who only, I can figure out how to get some money for myself. And here's the deal. They know that. The enemy knows that. The enemy would try you in terms of, if you are this militant dude, they already know, hey man, well, we're going to see before you even got to the meeting. Yeah, this dude been a problem a long time, man. Yeah, he been on our head. Well, let's listen to him. We're going to see how real he is to the cause, though. Hey, go get my checkbook. Let's see. Then that's when it comes in like, you know what? Hey, man, it's a pleasure to meet you. Okay, so what you got? Hey, man, we want this, man. We tired of this. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I understand that, man. I'll tell you what we've done. We've started this other program, and we could use a strong affiliate like you. You know, you just have to do this and do that, man. And but it would require for you to scale back on a lot of the language, on a lot of the stances that you. I'm not telling you to not be for your people, but you know, this point, that point, stay off of that. You know, don't really go. And this is where we can offer you this. You know, there's a lot of people that'll do that. That'll take that money, man. Whoa, I ain't never seen this much before. But it's a lot that wouldn't. Shout out to the ones who wouldn't. Because they understand. They're going to test you. And the ones that they can't buy, now they go to another means, another method to deal with you. Joe Bond said the Trumpers and Bidens are in the chat. Hey, I thought that's all that it was. Ain't too many people that dance in the middle. We accept whoever they put in front of us. See, when we was children, Whatever, when you sit down at that table, whatever your mama set in front of you on that plate to eat, you just started eating. At least growing up, how I grew up, there are times where you can request, you say, Mama, can we eat hamburgers tonight? But for the most part, Mama gonna make what she make, set them plates down in front of y'all, and y'all gonna eat what she cooked. That's kind of how the political system is, particularly in America. They're going to hand you all these candidates. They're going to set a plate down in front of you. Joe Biden is going to be on one plate. Trump is going to be on the other plate. And when they out the picture, there'll be two more that we never heard of. They'll be on the plate, and they will tell y'all, okay, these are the two people that y'all pick from. There'll be a pool of people. They'll have hopefuls on each side, and then it'll narrow itself down through debates and all that. But even the hopefuls, how they get to the point of where they're in the final 5 or 6, they select and hand them to us. And then when it busts down to them last 2, these are the 2 y'all pick out of. And you had no say so in getting to those 2. And now you sitting here arguing over the 2. No, I'm voting for him. No, he's better than him because he didn't. But we ain't crazy. Man. I might want Dolomite to be the president. I might not want to vote for none of them. I might have wanted to vote for the Hammer, Fred Williamson. How you gonna make me choose out of 2 people that I have no interest in? Then you manipulate me and trick me into thinking that I have an interest in one of them. Come on, man. It's the country we live in. Everybody has been duped by this process. I don't care how woke you are now. You might have figured it out. Congratulations. But we've all had these arguments over these candidates. Hey, man, y'all hit the like button if you haven't already, man. Click that like. I told y'all I wasn't going to hold y'all long. I'm hungry. And I'm going to choose what I eat tonight. Nobody's going to choose what I eat tonight but me. So click the like button if y'all haven't already. We'll try to get to 100, but I ain't going to push the issue. Try to get to 100 likes. I ain't going to push the issue, though. So I'll give y'all a few more minutes. Drop y'all locations so I can shout y'all out. Let me know where y'all at. And I can give y'all some love. But I appreciate y'all being in here with your big brother on this Saturday. Y'all better quit eating them. What kind of noodles? Them ramen noodles? Y'all better quit eating them noodles. Give me 20 more likes, man. We got Jimmy and Hendrix's in Maine. We got Kevin Manley out there in Pontiac, Michigan. Thursday Child is in Portland, Oregon. What am I eating tonight? I haven't decided yet. Haston, I haven't decided yet. Taurus D. Johnson, Alexandria, Louisiana. Bubba C's out there in Orange, Texas, a.k.a. Fruit City. Catherine, what's up, Catherine, out there in Missouri? Finders Keepers is in Pittsburgh. Mark is in Austin, Texas. Somebody eating some hamburger helper tonight? As long as you are strong in your foundation and what you stand on, man, you don't have to have no shame or no fear of meeting with an enemy, because he's not going to sway you. He's not going to change your mind. Just like I talked about the two nations when they meet, they on their platform, they'll negotiate, they'll try to work something that could be a compromise of what they believe to be fair compromise, but they ain't gonna get knocked off they square. Brother D Nail in Cincinnati, Ohio. Haston is in Iceland, y'all. He's out there in Iceland. Give me 17 more likes, man. I'll get out y'all way. Social media platforms are controlled and owned by the enemy, and we spend more time on those than anywhere. We live on social media. Wake up, social media. Go to sleep, social media. Dream about social media. You got the nerve to be talking about why Ice Cube went on this platform or that platform. Y'all funny, man. Y'all are funny, man. Calamaro said, eat some spinach. Might not be a bad idea. You know, I might go try to, I might do Mediterranean tonight. Finders keepers. Hey, man, look, this ain't directed at you, but people always ask me about shirts and stuff. And then when I get shirts printed up, y'all don't buy them. So I just be like, nah, I don't do shirts a lot. I know that I'm not directing it at you, but that happens a lot. Man, make some shirts. Then as soon as I make shirts, I'm sitting on shirts. What's up, Lucas? Out there in Colorado. Join Ramo, Warden County, 59 South. I saw the homie JD was in here earlier. Greek was in the building earlier, man. What y'all know about Greek? I don't know if he's still in here. Catherine says they'll try to get you to do something bad. Don't ever fall for that trap. If you rooted in your foundation, they can't make you do nothing, though. And if you can't be bought, if money can't knock you off your principles, then you fine. You fine. If there's no amount of money, see, there should be something in your life that no amount of money can make you do if it's not the right thing to do, or if it's not something that you originally said you don't do or would never do. Because we see that a lot. It's like, man, he said he would never do it. All of a sudden, he's doing it. Hit that like button, y'all. What we got? 15 more? Can we get 15 more in the next 5 minutes? I'll scroll back to see if I missed anything. Please sign here, K-Rino. Yeah. You let me be myself. I get down with you. You might regret that. If I ever went on Fox, it'll be like the first and last time. Like, who is that dude? Don't let him come back no more. But I know how to not act a fool, because you also have to know how to represent for you and your people in a dignified way, not up there going crazy and flipping out, and because now you become a poor representation of whatever it is your stance is, and those who believe in that stance, you misrepresented in a way that'll turn people off. So you still got to know how to present yourself and speak, but at the same time, you ain't selling out. I need 10 more likes, and I can eat. I'm gonna read this comment from L. Malik Shabazz. I missed this one. It says, you can meet and negotiate with enemies if there's room for mutual benefits, but you can't negotiate with an enemy that's hell bent on your total annihilation. That's a fact. That's a fact. And we covered that. It was under the umbrella of, a lot of the times we already know that they're not gonna go for it. That's what the reparations conversation is been about in certain circles. It's like, we know they're not gonna really do it. America's so broke, they couldn't do it from just, I guess, money. They could come off their land though. So we know the mind that they have, but you still, in the vein of Moses and other prophets, you still give them the chance. I'm still opening the door for you. You got a chance. Somebody say, y'all think he gonna do it? I ain't gonna do it. But you got a chance. So that's where I think that's the line of thinking that a lot of people have. Like, man, why is he beating with this? Nah. Same reason why God sent Moses to Pharaoh. You didn't think God didn't know what Pharaoh's response was going to be? But he put free will in the human being. You give him a chance. 7 more likes, man. I'm out the way. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Six more likes. We coming down to the nitty gritty. Getting down to the nitty gritty. Let me catch back up. Need 4 more, man. 4 people in here that haven't hit the thumbs up. Go on and hit it. We're a small, modest community. No gates. We're not a gated community. We got security, though. Y'all know who works security? LW. LW works security. They've always found money to give other nations and other people reparations, though. They've always found a way to break bread with everybody but black folks. I need 1 more like. 1 more like. And I can get out y'all way. There it is. All right, man. Peace and love.